Plastic disaster in Hong Kong as polypropylene spread on the beaches in the area. Diao Yu Island protesters arrived back to Hong Kong safe and sound. Thanks for tuning in.
Also making news, the inquiry into the Kimberley Ultra Marathon tragedy has been released, and more demonstrations from union members about dental health workers' pay conditions.
This is the Evening News.
Good evening. We begin tonight with a plastic disaster on the beaches of Hong Kong. The crisis began 2 weeks ago when Typhoon Vincent blew 6 containers worth of polypropylene into the sea, polluting beaches along the islands and coastal areas. Tonight, the HK News Hong Kong chief correspondent William Mann travelled to Discovery Bay and Lamma Island to discover just how hard it is to get those tiny particles off the beaches.
At the end of last month, Typhoon Vincent has blown 6 containers of polypropylene colloidal particles onto sea from a cargo ship. Particles drift with the sea to Lantau and other outlying islands like Peng Chau and Lamma Island. Environmental group DB Green found it and initiated the public go to the beach and picking up. The incident has now been 2 weeks. We visit one of the beach of Discovery Bay. Dozens of people under the hot sun using a variety of instruments to separate the colloidal particles with the sand. These colloidal particles were mixed with the sand, making it difficult for cleanup. We also tried to clean up work for 2 hours, with not much achievements. It's reported that various government departments will continue to work in a number of beaches, sea and fish culture zones to clean up the particles. It's estimated and nearly half tons of polypropylene were collected every day. William and HK News, Hong Kong.
Hong Kong protesters who made it to Diao Yu Island were given a hero's welcome when they appeared from the arrival terminal at the international airport. The activists were arrested by Japanese authorities after they successfully landed on the island. The protesters and journalists on the boat were later released without charges. During the press conference, the activists together demand Japan return the islands to China. They also thanked the Hong Kong government's support they have given in order to secure their release. Perth Lord Mayor Lisa Scaffidi has announced a new free Wi-Fi zone for the Perth CBD this morning.
It's reported that free Wi-Fi services will be gradually launched throughout the city. The city mayor has tested the free Wi-Fi service this morning.
We've had great success with the Wi-Fi zone at the Northbridge Piazza, but further to the further council endorsement of the Wi-Fi within the city of Perth, today we see this spot being created. We're also looking forward to Stirling Gardens starting soon, and I think really when more people appreciate what we're providing, they will start interacting with it and achieve the benefits that are intended for them.
The inquiry into last year's Kimberley Ultra Marathon tragedy was tabled at the State Parliament. The report has found that Hong Kong-based organisation Racing the Planet failed to ensure the safety of participants. Tourism Minister Kim Haines believed the organiser should give financial compensations to both participants who suffered severe burn injuries.
The ongoing inquiry of the 2011 Kimberley Ultra Marathon has found that Hong Kong-based company Racing the Planet failed to take reasonable steps to ensure the safety of participants in last year's event. 2 participants suffered burns to more than 60% of their bodies during the event last September after being trapped in a bushfire while running the 100-kilometre race in Western Australia. In a parliamentary committee report released last Thursday, organiser Racing the Planet has been found not only to have failed taking reasonable safety measures to ensure safety of participants during the event, but has also made a terrible mistake when they failed to liaise with the Fire and Emergency Services Authority of WA.
The first few pages of the summary of that report clearly outline the failings that Racing the Planet made. It also made findings against Tourism WA.
Committee Chairman Mike Nahan told Parliament that the level of communication and consultation between Racing the Planet and the other relevant agencies and individuals regarding the event's risk management plan was generally inadequate. Michelle Roberts, member of the opposition, stated in a speech that the committee is of the view that the primary responsibility lies with organizer Racing the Planet for the unfortunate mishap that occurred during the event, and also stated that there is a significant responsibility for Tourism WA due to some failings.
There are clear failings there that are discussed in the report, and there are findings there as to those failings by Events Corp, Tourism WA and others.
It is still unsure if the government will issue ex gratia payments to the victims. However, the committee has recommended the government that future organisations running an event in Australia should have an insurance that is claimable and suable in Australia. Timothy Seow, DHK News.
Dental health workers have rallied outside Parliament House demanding better pay and urging Health Minister Kim Hames to listen to their concerns. The union said workers feel that they're not valued by the state government as they earn the lowest pay in WA's public dental health service.
Members of the CPSU-CSA have marched upon Parliament House today in force to voice their displeasure with the pay scheme put forward by the state government. Under the new deal, it is believed workers in the public sector will receive a lower return for their work hours and in some cases earn a lower hourly rate, despite some clinics holding waiting lists of up to 3 years and as many as 12 dental clinics not operating full-time to cater to the demand. Health Minister Kim Hames appeared before the rally calling for calm and backed the changes to the pay scheme supported by an agreement originally implemented in 2010.
One is that there was a negotiation of the pay package for dental health staff that concluded in 2010. Agreement was reached, that was signed off, and that set in place the increases for the next 4 years.
CPSU-CSA Branch Secretary Tony Walkington was amongst the 200-strong crowd of protesters outside Parliament House and echoed the sentiments of disappointment on the government's approach to the matter.
We were very disappointed that the Minister did not come to this rally with an offer to improve the situation. We're disappointed that the Minister appeared to be immovable about this current situation.
It marks another turning point in the ongoing battle for better wages in comparison to the private dental sector. However, the Health Minister believes that dental health is one issue that the state government is taking on in excess, rather than being handled by the federal government.
Basic dental health care used to be the responsibility of the Commonwealth Government. It isn't anymore, and quite clearly state government's going to have to come and step in and come to the party.
Kristian Dwyer, DHK News.
Police have arrested a 25-year-old man after a wildcard chase at O'Connor. The silver Ford Fairmont sedan was pursued by the police after it went through a red light on Stock Road. Alexandra Mollo reports.
It was Thursday night when the driver of a silver Ford Fairmont sedan failed to stop at a red light at Stock Road in O'Connor. After police spotted the offence, the strenuous car chase began.
When they pass along, I see the car is trying to avoid the police and turn left, then crash into that company.
In an attempt to escape, the man missed a turn which caused the vehicle to crash over the fences of Business Centre Aqua Techniques. After the incident, 2 officers captured the man and found that he was not only driving without a licence, but also under the influence of drugs, which were found inside his vehicle. The man was then taken to Fremantle Hospital for blood tests, but he refused to cooperate with the police.
Although breath tests didn't indicate the man had been drinking, he admitted consuming drugs before hitting the road.
The man is currently being held in custody under the charges of drug possession, failed to stop, no authority to drive, damage to private property and reckless driving. Alexandra Mollo, DHK News.
A rescue mission was carried out by the Chile Navy helicopters after a cargo ship from Hong Kong was beached in Chile. The maritime governor said the ocean breeze and strong currents broke away the boat's anchor, leaving it riding on the waves.
It's understood the ship's 24 crew members are from Hong Kong, the Philippines and Myanmar. Chile correspondent Ramir Perez has this story.
Strong swells are causing havoc along the Chilean coast, triggering a dramatic rescue from a stranded cargo ship of Hong Kong's flag. Due to strong current, the Ocean Breeze cargo ship was stranded a few meters off the beach of Yoyeo town. The Navy had to send helicopters to rescue 8 of 24 crew on board of the cargo ships, while specialized teams are trying to figure how the best way to move the ship out of this dangerous position. For DSK News, Brian Ramirez, Santiago, Chile.
Time for national news. Disgraced Chinese politician Bo Xi Lai's wife was given a suspended death penalty for the British businessman Neil Haywood's murder. However, it is possible she will face life in prison instead. After the verdict, Ms. Gu made a statement saying she will not appeal the ruling, and the Haywood's family judge said they respect the court's decision. The Bo family's aide, Mr. Zhang, was also sentenced to 9 years in prison. Ivan?
And finally tonight, some great news for the people in Burma as the military government announced it will abolish the media censorship in the country. The big step towards democracy was officially proclaimed yesterday by President Thein Sein, which means journalists will no longer have to seek the government's approval before publishing their stories. And that's how the world looks tonight. Thanks for joining us.
From us and all our reporters around the world, good evening.
Good night.